Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, almost live. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm LBJ. You're there and I'm here, and you're listening to The Heartfelt Truth. Welcome. Let me start off by saying, as I always do, that I hope my voice finds you in good health, spiritually, mentally, and physically. Not necessarily in that order, but all equally important to help us through this thing we call life. And when you leave this podcast, if you didn't get anything from it, you probably weren't listening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and thank you for allowing me to come into your life. For the next few minutes, I hope you find my voice somewhat inspirational, a little motivational, and just gives you another way of looking at things. And with that being said, let's jump right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, I had a program, I had some ideas that I put together that I really wanted to share with you, and I still am not going to dismiss what I came up with, but I just want to share something with you. This morning I was having my first cup of coffee, and I was sitting down and I'm watching the news. Now, it's not one of those things that I really get up every morning and watch the news. I mean, I try to avoid it to some degree, but in the state of this pandemic, and everywhere you turn, I mean, right now, I mean, it has even trickled into TV commercials and some of your regular favorite funny commercials. Everything now is on a serious side, you know, with this pandemic and COVID-19. And I totally understand it. I respect it. I mean, like I've shared with you before, I mean, I've had my battle with Mr. COVID myself, and I won, thank God. But, you know, something was disturbing today. You know, in all the drama that's going on, and all the first responders and the essential workers and people that are really doing their best to keep this country going. And then there's the controversy about reopening. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, you know, people have been in the house for 2 months. I can understand the fact that they want to get out and get some fresh air. Trust me, I went to the store the other day, and I was just going to get some items for the house, you know, for the family. We need, you know, milk, bread, you know, a whole couple of things. And fortunately for us, they were in the supermarket. So as I was driving home, I said to myself, you know what? I might be a little sketchy in regards to reopening certain things, but I understand, because that brief moment that I was outside, I really said, I get it. You know, it feels good to be outside. So I totally understand people that want to walk in the park, walk on the beaches and stuff like that. So with all that going on, there was a bit of sad news that and a disturbing story that I saw on, and I don't liken myself to be a newscaster or you know, but I mean, listen, I'm up on current events. I try to keep myself, you know, current. And I seen a very sad story about a young man who was gunned down by two people as he was jogging through the neighborhood. Now, I make no excuses for what I'm saying. I told you, I don't talk politics, I don't talk religion. But I will tell you this, every now and then something does crop up, and you're a human being, and you have to pay attention to this story, because as I sat there and listened to it, I couldn't help but feel the fact that there are family members, there are people, and I don't care who you are and what you look like. When you're talking about a neighborhood, you're talking about an area where I guess the people are familiar with each other, so forth and so on. And I sat there and I watched and I said, you know what? That could be somebody that I know. That could be a young man that I could be a family member. And it just hit me. And it's just so sad to watch this young man's mother and a family member sit there on national television and in midst of all their grief and with all that's going on in the country. I mean, with the pandemic, and there are so many people losing their lives. Again, there's a flash number. I mean, we're like at 1.3 million people who have been affected by this COVID-19, and there are thousands of people that lost their lives. And then there's a story like this that crops up in the midst of all of this. And ironically, it just goes to show you that, because I was speaking to a family member, and we were just having a casual conversation and a little off the beaten path. And he said to me, after this this battle that you just dealt with, how do you feel? Was it a life-changing experience? And I kind of chuckled at it, and I was like, well, it definitely made me reevaluate a few things. But the fact of the matter is, things haven't changed. And we go through these dramatic pieces in our lives, and you would think somewhere along the line that something changes. There's a switch that goes on. And as I was going through all of this, I said, I hope, and I remember saying this, I said, I hope that on the other side of this, that people come out and start treating each other better. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what religion you believe in or what God you pray to. I was hoping that on the other side that we came out, a better people, better human beings. And then I sit down and I'm watching the television, and real quick it just reaffirms the fact that not really much has changed, and it's just so sad. I can't help it but feel a sense of sadness, So between everything else and then to see that story, it just boggles my mind. So at this segment here, I really would like to extend my condolences to the family and to the friends and the people with this loss of life, this young man in the state of Georgia. I hope that the officials down there just handle this thing accordingly and justice is served. And that's it. I mean, there's really not much else to say. I don't want to, the story can go on and on and on and on, but I don't want to do that. Just lend it some credence, but I just wanted to share with you my feelings at the moment, and it's kind of sad. All right, with that being said, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you this, that I'm going to give you a brief little scenario. What I wanted to do is I sat down, and it's kind of a difficult time to try to stay focused and keep moving forward, trying to keep ourselves busy, entertained, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Ironically, those are my mantras, with this pandemic. All right. And break it down, mentally, it can be challenging being boxed in a house. Physically, you have to take care of yourself. Lord knows I went through that one there. So you have to, and then spiritually, as you choose to handle your own business. And what I've been thinking about all week is that I wanted to come up with a formidable plan. I want to, we talk about it pretty much, or at least I do. I share the message. And I think you've heard me mention, dreams deferred. You heard me mention the quiet passions. I know for a fact that we're still doing things that a lot of us wish we were doing something else. So what I wanted to do, and I've been thinking about it all week, and we will get to it, trust me. I was talking about focus, and how do we stay focused in the midst of this pandemic and moving forward and taking care of ourselves and still going after those goals and dreams that we continuously talk about. And to be truthful with you and truthful with myself it's really hard to stay focused when I sit here and I continuously think about you fine people here and around the world, and we have such a relationship where we've been sharing, and you want to come up with content, you want to come up with meaningful content. I want to share my message, and the whole idea with all these things spinning around your head and what's going around you is trying to stay focused. So what we're going to do in our next segment, I'm going to sit down and we are going to dive in to exactly that topic and the whole idea about staying focused. And what I would like you to do is, until the next time, I want you to sit down and just take this advice, because it was shared with me and I just want to pass it on. What I want you to do is, we're talking about, focusing your dreams and so forth and so on. I want you to get a piece of paper and draw 2 circles in the middle of that paper. And I want them to overlap each other. Okay. Now, this is not a homework assignment. If you choose to do it, that's fine. If not, that's fine too. But what I want you to do is, I want you to make the circles overlap each other. And then I want you to number 1 through 5 on one side and 1 through 5 on the other side. And at the end of it all, on the left side, I want you to put the letters U and A. And the other side, I want you to put down an X. Now, somebody's going to be sitting there saying, LB, what are you talking about? What I want you to do is I want you to consciously sit down and write down 5. Okay, if you come up with more, that's great. But 5 of your unique abilities on the left. And then on the right, I want you to put down 5 things that you would consider yourself to be an expert at. And if you're having a problem with your unique abilities, ask a family member or a friend what they consider your unique abilities. And then there's a little blank space in the middle where there's nothing written in yet. And in that space, we'll discuss that in our next segment. I just give you a little twist. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen. In this time of uncertainty that we're all facing here and around the world, I just want to say, do one thing. Do me a favor, please. Take care of yourself. Take care of your families, because family is important. And if you see someone that needs a helping hand, if you can, stick yours out and try to help them at a safe distance. I believe this one act really, really will make the world a better place. And it's going to be one of those things that help you on your journey to becoming the best person that you were meant to be. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm LBJ. You're there and I'm here. And you've been listening to The Heartfelt Truth. Thank you. And we'll talk again.